I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. Got a smile on my face. Good morning from Miami BTV. Wishing you well, sending loads of love to you as usual now. Really sorry about that moment with the lovely dog Blue yesterday. I got really confused because I thought Blue had jumped in at the moment. Darren Webster was crying a little bit and he felt to me like Blue was crying. I might have read it wrong, but I got a bit confused. It's very hard to concentrate when you're not expecting moments like that from the lovely dog Blue jumping in during such serious moments. So I hope it came across the way that it did, if you get what I mean. I know the expert eyes would have read exactly through what happened, because after all, we don't edit nothing on the Miami TV. Now, the early morning topic this morning, it has to be clarified, certain things. I'm afraid, you know how we do it at the moment. I'm in the middle of Wales. I might do another podcast while I'm down here for a couple of days, but I'll let you all know. But feeling really good, even though it's raining. Now, the issue and the question this morning: do some of the greatest names in criminal history claim credit for fights, battles and wars from the life that they led in their ex-criminal days? Do they add those bits on? Do they allow others to add those bits on to make them seem and appear that they were bigger than what they was, etc., etc.? Uncle Yami breaks it down all over the country, the real reality of most of the men and who was the greatest of all time in all ways. We get to that now. Now, look, incidents, or having spoken to many of those men over a lifetime, right? We touch on first, of course, the Gary Stretch incident with the Longfellow. Now, many witnesses there that night. Uncle Yami gave you the proper version as far as I know it, and for simple reasons as well, like when I'm talking about claiming cred and do they really care, these big names, about what's said on social media, and this one said that and that. They don't watch a lot of YouTube and social media, the big name so-called ex-criminals from back in the day, but they will have people that's, watch people that are talking about them for legal reasons and stuff like that. But that's all it would be. They don't really care about who said what and who said this and who said that and that kind of stuff. Now, the Gary Stretch incident, Gary Stretch was on record of saying that he got knocked out. I don't think Gary really likes his name being called and being reminded of such moments. I actually knew the girlfriend or one of those that were there that night associated to Gary Stretch when the incident happened with the Longfellow. Bob Matthews knows, there's people watching, know that it definitely took place, and he's, we could say a man, the Longfellow neither talks about, despised, whatever. You can't really like him to that from back in the day, Jimmy Holmes. And I've learned my lesson of going up there and talking about Mr. Holmes, for conflicts of interest kind of things. Even he says that the Longfellow put him on the floor. Not that he just punched him and it was, he got the better and that kind of stuff. He got knocked out, mate. You know what I mean? And we're not talking belittling about Gary Stretch. So I don't think he takes kindly to certain things he said. I'm not getting involved in no binter and banter. Uncle Yami tells you categorically. And the other thing, confess that I said during one of those early shows while I was a bit disjointed and taking bits from other people about that night on the bridge, where I said, Bob Matthews, quite correctly, some of you said, that I said that I thought the Longfellow knocked Jimmy Holmes on the floor. The Longfellow categorically says, through other sources to me, Yami, it didn't happen. He's not claiming credibility for that, but he could easily do that, because I went up there and said it with my hasty self, telling bits of a story, but obviously adding what somebody else told me about it. He says, no, it didn't happen. 1-0 to the Longfellow, because he doesn't say things, doesn't want no street cred, like I said, for bits that are not true from that life. We know he's just a businessman and he left that life years and years ago, right? And I remember talking to Terry A in Long Lartin, right? One of the locals. I walked up to him and I said, look, is that true, Tell, that you put it on Kenny Noy? He called him into the shower, they was arguing near a phone, and he called Kenny Noy and he said, listen, mate, do you want to have it, or, button it? And, they was having some kind of argument from way back in the day, and they didn't really see eye to eye. That was the story. When I asked Terry Adams said, no, Yami, don't listen to that shit. It never took place. But he could easily say to make himself, yeah, I stuck it on him and blah, blah, blah. I've been prone to exaggeration all my life in running around in the jungle, but who I loved more, and you know what I mean, and that kind of stuff. We confess to those kind of things. But Terry, they want no credit for nothing that isn't true from that life. You see what I mean? That's two. Paul Ferris is on record as saying like that. Someone put up there, I believe it was my big brother Ben, the Inquirer, mentioned the story with Paul Ferris and the Arifs. And there was some mix-up and Paul did this and all that. Paul Ferris rings through straight away and says, no. I know what you mean, and it could make me look better, I don't really need to look better, that kind of stuff. It's not true. Take it down. Respectfully, they're best friends now, the Inquirer and Ferris. They've known each other for quite some time. But again, don't want no street cred. He doesn't want it, no whole lies in his story and making himself look better and blah, blah, blah. The same with the big man from Manchester, John Gray, way back in the day, in the Cat A's. I asked him, I said, I heard you had all the Quality Street gang on the payroll when you was, you was going in and they had, Jimmy Swords and Carruthers and all that kind of stuff. Because remember, Uncle John Gray was original Glaswegian, who was in the thick of it everywhere. You lot just don't know. He looks at me in the eye and said, no, Yami. They were older, they liked me, and I got on well with everyone. But extorting and enforcing from them and all that, absolutely not true. Again, not claiming anything credit. They don't work like that. And this is what I try to explain sometimes, right? With people that go up on each other. It's amazing. Have you ever wondered how certain men could have spent so much time in jail in their stories and everything? Where are all the prison stories? Strange, isn't it? Who did you meet? What took place? Who was around? And you remember all the bits from Gordon Bennett, mate? I remember most things, especially now, more than who was around, what they said, who got on with who won that fight and won that, who likes me, who didn't, and maybe not everyone's probably cup of tea. Maybe you're not suggesting anything, of course. Maybe, you never really participated in the jungle to the extent that, not bigging myself up as usual, but I'll separate the greatest of all time. Tony Argent, another one, big brother, said about the mental patient, the psychopath, and I was telling the story and blah. Goes, no, Yami, got that bit wrong and that bit wrong and that bit wrong. It pissed me off. You know what I mean? Check in and get the full before you say things. I don't want no extra credit for this and that and all that. Proper people. They don't want no matter how it sounds and how tough they are, and they are all legendary figures from back in the day, they don't want even bits to make them look so-called appear better. They don't want it on record because it isn't true. You know what I mean? So those the clarify. But the reason why, right? When I sat down with John, and I didn't have many moments with Terry, like I told you, but the Longfellow, moments that you remember when you're sitting around the table. I won't tell you where it was, right? So he comes with a plan. He says to me, Yami, if you was going down there and you had to go and see him to get through this bit and that bit, how are you going to do it? So I go up there. I'll go and talk to him. I know that he talks to him. So I'll sell him a smoke screen. I'll tell him a lie, basically, while I'm going through to reach my destination. Very dangerous games I used to play. And I'm banking on the way that he thinks that he'll run over there and that will get disguised. They'll be looking in the wrong direction. When I go through that bit, then I'll go through that bit. Then I'm going to give him that to get that back. And then I'll get rid of him by giving him another so-called junglist as well, give him that so he disappears at a given moment. All these plans put into action by the junglist that we was Yami B. The other three people sitting around the table going, yeah, but that's not foolproof and blah blah. Longfellow, I know what he means, because it's a very dangerous game because you need everything in your head, Yami, to go your way. But I'm proving history. You're going to go with Yami, and the other three, when the Longfellow goes, no, what it means is that, what it means is that, what it means is that. His insight and wisdom and intelligence is up to the fucking Richter scale. And the other three sitting around the table, listen to him. How come I can't see it? Like, how come? He goes, you know why? Because he's a fucking genius. When he's not on the gear and like we know, like they all said, John, all of them, Yami, because Yami has a knack of getting those bits in the jungle absolutely spot on. So he was saying, banking on it, he went with me. So they're thinking, some of them sit around, yeah, but he's on the gear, he takes wrong, he's not going to be able to think. And then when they said, Yami, why do you have to take this and that? JG, I'm saying, looking in the distance. Raj, we know Gary Tyson used to get the ump with it. You know, a lot of people, no one likes me because they know when I'm on form, there's a different game. And even when I'm not, I seem to manage to find those ways of doing things. But Terry, again, when he explains things and you listen and you kind of think that Kenny Noyes not speaks like Terry, and the insight and the wisdom and the intelligence of John, who could just stand there like Terry, like being like all those names we talk about from Scotland to Ireland, Tommy Mullen, everybody, Tony and everything would just go, they're thinking what I'm thinking. So if I'm thinking what they're thinking and my head's not, so they're thinking, well, Yami knows. So we overlook this bit and that bit, but they're on it. We always say, you know what you know, and you go, your experiences, and you have to have it in there and in there. And I'll tell you this categorically, I love all the men that I talk about. I spent more time than obviously with the Longfellow, but Uncle Yami points clearly, tells you the Longfellow was the greatest of all time. Fuck all the hearsay of what they said and what this one said. I didn't put him in my hard men because I used to think I can't really go up there and say certain things. But I don't see what harm it does now when it doesn't, you know, when I'm not, what am I really talking about? But on the cobbles, in fights and all that, I'm still waiting for one of you to say he had a straightener with someone and he lost. Not that they said and he said it went something like this and all that. Factual evidence, I tell you, for all-round ability, intelligence, articulation, creative genius, see it coming, blah, blah, blah. Many of these men are on the same level, but the percentages, in my mind, can be slightly edging the edge towards the Longfellow. Uncle Yami gives it to you straight today. Certain people should really mind out. Sending loads of love, probably be up later on.